Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and welcome to Total Recon, the show where I take a look at stuff attacking my base at the moment. That's not what I expected to have happen right at the beginning. So anyway, this is Total Recon, the show where I take a look at games under development and in early access. And this is one of the few games that I've actually covered that are... well, it's in alpha at the moment. In fact, this game isn't even on Steam yet. And the thing about it is, it's quite entertaining. It's called Factorio. And if that sounds familiar to some of you, it might be because, well, it has been covered on several channels before. But this is a game that takes a bit of time to make, because as far as I know, it's a very, very small development team. So, what is Factorio? It is a building game, essentially. And it's a game about automating. So if you're fans of games where you build lots and lots of stuff, things like SimCity, maybe Kerbal Space Program, and a few others, this might be right up your alley. So what it is you play as this guy. You are this little blue man who is put on this planet. It's an alien world, and the thing is, it's randomly generated. So I'm here on this desert planet, but you can also start in a temperate climate or other forms of climate. Those are the two that I've seen so far, but you know, there might be tundra and so forth as well. Now the main thing is you are meant to terraform this planet, or make it a conducive environment for colonists. That means creating production of resources and having facilities and so on and so forth. So how this is achieved is by exploiting the natural resources, of course, because we are humans after all, and that's what we're best at doing. So we have a look at this map over here. Now there are a bunch of resources lying around. This is copper ore, there are some forests over here, there's water, there's iron ore, and there's coal. Alright, so there are several things we can do with this. So what I've actually got here is a very large production facility set up, and a couple of steam engines. So what this is we try to make a sort of automated production line, and you can see that happening right here. You can zoom in all the way in. It is in 2D. This is top-down 2D perspective, and we have a bunch of machines. So this is a stone furnace that we have here, and it's at the moment it's smelting. What is it smelting? I think it's, yeah, it's making copper into copper plates. And we have a bunch of conveyor belts that move stuff around, and we put all of these things into storage or into processing and all that. Everything is automated. And that is the main aim of the game, is to try and create an automated process for everything. So right now, here is one of the new things that I've just put up. It's an oil production facility, which is not in use at the moment because, well, I don't have anything to use it with. So at the beginning, we start off with nothing, and our character can craft a number of items that we can use to collect resources and process them into other things. And as we progress throughout the game, we research stuff using this lab, and we can research new items such as advanced material processing, or in fact, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Things like turrets, weapons, fluid handling. Sounds a little bit risque. But there, we can have a lot of things that we can research, and the game just goes on and on and on. So we can add all sorts of things to our production capabilities just by researching them. So right now I'm at the stage where everything is so automated that I don't have anything to do. I believe this is actually full, so I need to upgrade this. But at the moment I don't really have much to do, because right now anyway, there really isn't much for me to do yet. Which is kind of unfortunate, because I'm just sort of waiting around at the moment for stuff to happen. I'm waiting for resources to research things, and and then have more things to build. And it just keeps going on like that. You research more things, you unlock new things to build, you build those things, you automate that process, and so on and so forth. And it's really, really addictive. I don't know what it is about this. It's just, there's something very satisfying about seeing a production line that works. So, that is the basic premise of the game. Now, of course, I have said that this game is in alpha. So, it's gone for green light on Steam, and I think it's going to get through, but it's going to be a while before it hits early access, as far as I know. In this current build anyway, the core gameplay is already there, and it seems to be working quite well. There's a lot of things to make, and there's a lot of things to research, so there's a lot of content already in the game. And at this stage, it looks like most of what is going to happen is that the developer's probably just going to add more things to do, and probably add some scenarios as well. There is actually a campaign mode. Let me just go back to the menu. I'll save the game here. Yeah, let's save that. And let's go back to the main menu. Alright, so there is a campaign as well. And we do have custom scenarios that we can actually play out. Now, the campaign itself follows the story of the character that you play, where you try to create a home for colonists. So each part is an individual scenario, you complete the objectives, and then you move on. And the campaign itself still has more to be added on. It's not complete yet, but these are the main missions that we have available here. But of course, what I'm actually playing right now is actually a sandbox, which is just here, and there's a lot of options available. We can generate a map of any sort. In fact, there's a lot of parameters here, some that I don't really even know what they do. I'm not sure what segmentation does, but yeah, we can control the amount of resources, and then we can just generate a new map. We can even add in a map seed type if we like, which of course works in the same way that most other games, like Minecraft and so on and so forth, that have used seeds for map generation. We can use that as well. So I'm just going to create an infinite map. We're using the default settings and see what we get. Alright, so here we are in the free play, and we have a kind of arid environment, but it's a totally different environment to what we were using before. In fact, there's a lot more vegetation to start off with. In fact, there's a sort of green coral going on here, so this could actually be maybe a dry inland sea of some sort. And then we have a more temperate environment over here, which kind of looks like dry grass. But yeah, this is kind of the map generation. And how we start off playing this game is we have only two things to begin with. We have a burner drill, which uses natural resources. It burns and then it drills ore. And then we have a furnace for of course, smelting said ore. And it's very nice, actually. That, in fact, we're quite lucky that this one is actually made in this way, with the resources very close together, because copper, of course, is used to make wires, and iron is the main building block for a lot of things, as well as stone. Now, our character can mine things out. We just have a simple stick, and we can use that to go and grab some materials. It's not particularly efficient for grabbing things like ore. As you can see, it's very, very, very slow, but we can fix that. We can actually craft ourselves some tools. So we can make an iron axe there, and that's automatically equipped, and now it's much faster. But of course these things have durabilities, so you can see here it has 4,000 durability, and once it is destroyed, well, it's gone. So we can actually use this, but this is not how we're intended to actually get our resources, of course. We are intended to find a way of automating these processes. So of course, let's try doing that. So here I've placed down a burner drill and a stone furnace, and these can be fueled by various things. Of course, you have to keep them fueled, otherwise they can't function at all. So we can actually use coal, or in this case we can use wood, because wood, of course, is the more abundant material here. We have a forest and we have a whole bunch of coral over here. So that is one thing we have to bear in mind. Now, we placed the drill in such a way that the ore is already being deposited into the furnace. Now, if we want to, we can of course have conveyor belts that travel between these things, and inserters that will help us to put the resources where they need to go. So, it seems fairly basic to start off with. In fact, given how much content there is, I'm surprised it's not more, I guess, overwhelming than that, because normally these kinds of games, they overwhelm the player with a lot of things to use to get started, and then the learning curve turns out to be very steep. In this case, it's very gradual, because you don't start off with a lot of things that you can make. You don't need to worry about the more advanced processes until much later on, when you've probably gotten more experience and you know what you're doing. So it's actually quite good in that sense. I found the learning curve to be very, very acceptable. Okay, so wood of course burns a lot faster than coal does, so it's not the most efficient material, but we do have a lot of it. The only problem is we don't have any way of automating the harvesting of wood, so that can be a problem. I might have noticed now I have a little cone of light, and that's because this is nighttime. There is a day-night cycle, and of course there are aliens, as you saw right at the beginning of the game. There are alien life forms. I would call them aliens, but actually they're native to the planet, and we are actually the aliens, but I digress. They will attack you, and they are attracted to particular types of buildings as well. They don't just attack at random. In that case, they attacked my radar station, because there is a transmission going from there, or rather a scanning signal, and that signal tends to attract the life forms that will come and attack you. So you have means of defending yourself. You have a gun and some ammunition, and of course you can craft more of them. Of course you do have to research them in order to do that, but you are capable of making weapons and turrets and so forth to defend your machines. And the map itself is limited at the beginning, because a lot of it is unexplored. However, we can manually explore the place. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen there is a map that is being revealed as I'm traveling north. However, the radar station allows us to automate that process as well. Of course, we can manually scout, and of course in at later stages we can actually build vehicles, and that will help to speed up the exploration. But the radar station allows us to have the map revealed without needing to move there ourselves. So that really is just the heart of the game, is finding ways of making machines do your work for you. Because of course you are just one person trying to make this planet work for you. And there is just this strange satisfaction about it. Of course, as the game develops, there will be more content added to it, more scenarios, more things to create, more things to automate, and it's something that I'll definitely be looking forward to. But if you're the sort of person that doesn't like getting into games too early and all that, you're worried if it's going to be completed or not, because after all, it is a small independent team that is doing this, then maybe waiting for it to appear on Steam Early Access might be more of your deal. But as far as I look at it now, even if the game's production or development stops now, this is a game that still has hours of content in it that can entertain you for a long time. But in any case, this is not a recommendation series or anything. This is just a preview look at Factorio. But it's a game that I'm enjoying a lot so far. And if you like what you see, I will leave the link to the game down in the description below for you to go and check out. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Panzer taking a look at Factorio. It's available from the website for £20, or your regional equivalent. I believe that's the price. It is paid through PayPal, but they do accept many different payment methods. So if you're interested, go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.